up, guys? Welcome back to the Millennial ManCave. This is our podcast, episode number 9. Boys, we are back. The Stanley Cup Finals.
Hell yeah.
Who's with me here today?
Nidderman Nid.
Polar Bear Steve.
Matza Mike.
And Chef Tom will be missing in action today, guys. He's not feeling well. And, of course, we have to get you this podcast in time. So he sent me over his thoughts. We'll be representing Tom today. But let's get into it, guys. So, as always, we start with the East. We got to watch the Pens and the Sens, of course.
God, what
And
I don't think
series.
"got" is the right word. I think we were forced to. It was not
What
a
a
good
snore
series.
fest, man. Oh, God.
So, I don't know, man. For me, this series, I said it from the beginning, it was going to be a crapshoot. Like, I thought the Pens should have absolutely dominated. The fact that it went 7 for me is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I didn't think it'd go to 7.
No, I don't think anybody thought it'd go to
Sens should have been outclassed
I
in
liked
every
Ottawa how they
way.
played, but I didn't think they'd go to 7. That
There
was
was no-
impressive
God,
to
that
me.
was so boring to watch Ottawa play.
I mean,
Literally, it
works.
put me to sleep.
Well,
Half of those games, just watching them.
Craig
trap.
Anderson was a game changer. Like, he came
Yeah,
in, like, 2 of those games there and just absolutely
Yeah.
stole for them. And then even Game 7, it looked like he could have been that big difference maker, but the Sens just couldn't get anything past that Pens defense and the goaltending. So,
They literally lost by 1 goal in a double overtime. How much closer can you get?
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But, Chris Kunitz
He's
in the
clutch.
slot,
Clutch
old
player.
is
just absolutely that was his, like, first goal since, like, last year or something.
Well, he
It
was
ridiculous.
injured for a
Two
big-
goals in the game. In
It
game
was
7.
crazy.
He was injured for a big part.
Yeah, and that's why. So, like,
Yeah.
he was like the Clark MacArthur comeback
So,
story for the Pens.
He's fresh. This is beautiful for them.
I mean, and they need it right now because I mean the Preds are going to come out flying
Yeah.
in the Stanley
Oh,
Cup
yeah,
final,
sure.
but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Chris Kunitz, getting back in the lineup, Matt Murray's looking fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
their goal was a little bounce back off the boards that they were able to put in against Murray. So I mean,
And we called Murray going into that series too.
you know what? And like I was
That's true,
surprised
they
at
did.
how fast the yank came for
I
Fleury.
was also
Dude,
very
I was-
surprised at that.
It didn't make sense because I
No.
mean Fleury stood on his head the entire playoff run.
Yeah, I was shocked
Well,
he got the egg so
It
fast.
made sense overall, but just not as soon as they did it. I
No,
thought maybe
not
one
that
more
quick.
game, but like
No,
that was the
it
guy.
right after.
That was the guy they were going to. I was telling Mike, like, you can't leave your number one guy on the bench, especially when you're losing the series. If you're winning, you can keep doing it, but if you're losing, you just can't keep that guy on there because then you're going to regret and say, what if I would have put my guy, my horse out there? It would have changed
I think
things.
you're gonna have that doubt either way.
You can play that what if
No.
no matter what outcome
Yeah.
happened, right?
Well,
matter
no,
who
if you lose with
started.
your number one guy, then you lose with your number one guy. You can sleep fine. But if you never went to it or you went to it too late, then you're kicking yourself. And that's what good coaches do, I think.
But your backup got you this far, so it's like.
But he did his
give him
job.
a
He
chance
did his job perfectly. He did what he's supposed
And-
to do: step up when you're needed, and then sit back on the bench when the number one guy is ready to go.
See, I disagree. I don't even call him a backup. They have 2 number 1
The
goalies.
two
Yeah,
number
like-
There has to be a backup for lack of a better term. There's a starting goalie and a backup
It's a
goalie.
it's a 1A 1B. I mean, you have a
Yeah.
seasoned veteran Stanley Cup winner in Fleury,
Yeah,
so it's not like
exactly,
he's a bad
This
backup
isn't
if you
Curtis,
want
No,
to.
no,
this
no,
isn't
no,
Curtis
no.
McElhinney coming in and holding the fort for 10
yeah.
games. This is Marc-Andre Fleury.
I know,
Stanley
I know.
Cup winner.
I mean,
so
I
it's
know
like-
he hasn't been the most consistent goalie the last couple of years, whatever the case is, but I mean, Murray now, this 23-year-old stud, is going back to the Stanley Cup Finals in back-to-back years in his first 2 years in the league. It's
It's unreal.
ridiculous.
But my point was
Absolutely
during the
ridiculous.
season, they didn't treat it like a 1A, 1B. Matt Murray was the number one guy.
Well,
He
I
was
mean,
the one guy.
but it's just the passing of the torch, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you knew Murray would be taking over, and after last year with him making the run that he did, it's not disrespect to Fleury. It's just that,
No.
this kid's
No,
really
no,
good.
not at all.
We need to play him. Like,
So he was a good, and he got a shutout in that series too. So
yeah, I know.
He did, he
It's
did.
insane.
7-0 destruction, though.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, now if you look back to the other side for the Sens,
Yeah.
I mean, how good did that team pull together, even against the Pens?
I don't get it. Their forward core
it's
didn't make
crazy.
any sense.
No,
They're
but
boring,
Bobby,
but-
Bobby Ryan just took off this playoffs.
Honestly, they're
man.
boring, but I
Jeez.
respect them a lot, man. They had a good freaking team. They
Like,
they made
I wouldn't- I
made
wouldn't-
all the little
I
pieces
wouldn't say
work.
good team like on paper, but they
Not on
played
paper.
really well though.
That's what I mean. Like,
They played not to lose. If you know what I mean. Like Boucher
Yeah,
was
Isn't that the point
very.
of playing all sports?
Yeah.
It is. But like no. But what I'm saying is playing not to lose is different than playing
You're
to
right.
destroy
No,
them. Or
okay,
playing
yeah,
to
yeah.
win.
they're not going for the
Right?
jugular.
They're
No,
not going to
exactly.
try and win a 4-1 game or 5-1 game. They
It's
did
more like
destroy them.
take it a
Yeah.
shift at a time.
one game.
I'll take a
We
2-1,
want to win
2-0
this
win.
shift. Okay, we're going to win the next shift. We're going to win the next shift. Let's win the period, and then it's like so on
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
forth.
But that's the thing. A lot of these players that didn't look dangerous did. Like every time Bobby Ryan touched the puck, you're like, oh shit, this guy could score the shift.
Yo,
Like he's
forget
on
Bobby Ryan.
drugs.
How about Pajot? He got 8 goals in this
Yeah.
playoffs.
John Gabriel
John
Lemieux.
Lemieux, as Steve puts it. I mean, like all these guys, it's like I think we discussed this in like the past podcast, but I mean, it's like every game one guy stepped up and like, okay, I'm the guy tonight.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
it wasn't Bobby Ryan, it was Mike Hoffman with an absolute rocket
Oh my god.
past
yeah.
Murray far corner. Like that was ridiculous
That was a dirty
in Game
shot.
6.
Maybe that caught up with them with a team like Pittsburgh. is because there was always just one guy for Ottawa
Who
doing
did
it, and then they ran into Kessel and Malkin and Crosby and all those guys.
Kunitz and
Exactly.
But you look back at that
Gensel.
series and they pissed off Pittsburgh. Like Kessel
Oh, I
and
know.
Malkin were
yeah.
battling it out nonstop,
It's
verbally
true.
on the bench, on the ice. I mean, they did their job. The Sens, like they came out and they frustrated the Stanley Cup champions.
I hate to say
To me, Gino is looking like the old Gino when he won the Conn Smythe. He's
Oh,
taking over the
man.
game
Yeah.
completely. He
Oh,
might not be
yeah.
putting up a lot of points that he did in the first round or first round and a half, but like you can tell when he's out there, he's like a man possessed and he wants that team to score.
Gino's gone MVP right now.
And that's
Yeah.
the
It's
craziest
actually
part
ridiculous.
is Gino always does it when Crosby's injured. So the fact that he's doing it while Sid's healthy and in the lineup,
Right.
that team just becomes another level.
Like I love Sid's game right now, but I think Malkin is at the highest point of their
But that's the
team.
worst part is nobody's talking about Sid, but the guy is having himself a ridiculous year
Oh,
all
yeah.
around.
in the playoff
Like they said,
scoring.
he's reached another level, and you don't have to talk about it anymore because it's so normal.
He's just always in the right spot at the right time, and
Yeah.
he finds himself open when everyone should be covering him and focusing on him, just kind of like Ovechkin does.
That's when you
It's like,
know you're
you
an
look at
all-star
the
player.
replay and you're like, how is 87 open? Like, watch
wide
him.
open in the slot.
He's playing with two rookie wingers too, which is unreal.
Well, no,
that
Ku-
speaks a lot.
Kunitz
That's
is back
like
on his
every
line.
season
No,
with
I
this
meant
guy.
like Fury and
Oh, right,
Gensel.
right.
Jake Gensel looked like an absolute crazy sniper playing with
Right on.
Crosby, and it's just like that's what he does. Like
Yeah,
good
Crosby-
players elevate the players beside them.
Like Crosby's second in playoff scoring.
Well,
Like,
look
you're
at
right, he's
Crosby's
quietly
pass.
second.
Yeah.
Crosby's pass to Kessel, no look
Oh
behind
my
the
God,
back,
that was
that was
disgusting.
disgusting.
Dirty.
like that type of player does not come around often. And like the Pens have like 3 of those guys on the ice right now. It's
gross.
ridiculous. Like Kessel was been on fire. Like he's hit another level.
They're a powerhouse.
They're
right
doing
now.
all this without Letang.
They
too.
are. A
I know.
powerhouse.
You know what I think helped too is Schultz getting back into that game 7.
yeah.
That's really going to help them going forward, and I think it pushed them over the edge in that 7th
Without
game.
Schultz, they had no movement on that blue line.
Yeah, it was
Well-
looking very stagnant back there. He was the guy that rushes the puck for them.
I give a lot of respect to Trevor Daley too. That guy's been playing a hell of a game for Pittsburgh.
He has been.
I mean, some of these
Well,
young guys, like
Hainsey,
Hainsey, Oli Mata looks like he's starting to come back around again. I mean, he has some rough times. I think I said again the past podcast defensively at times, but for the offense, pushing the offense, the kid looks great.
Ian Cole
Like-
too, very
Ian Cole
underrated,
is
yeah.
so underrated.
Like-
He just
They're
stays
under.
at home. Your
Like
classic
to me,
shutdown
Mata
defenseman.
gets like shit on too much. He's almost got like that like Riley curse where everyone
Yeah, he's
expects him
22,
because he went up
23.
so quickly and so young. Everyone's like, oh, I should be an amazing defenseman right now. Mata's like 21 or something
Oh,
like
no,
that.
So
that
close.
He's
makes
so
no
young.
sense to me.
He's learning his game from all the guys around him, and he's just going to be a better player for this.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and then
And
again,
he's starting to show it, like you said, little spurts of like he can be a top 4 defenseman.
it's gonna come. The kid it takes time. Like you
Takes
don't
time,
just become
exactly,
an amazing
yeah.
defenseman overnight. Like Chris Letang didn't come in as a 21-year-old and dominate the league.
No, it's
Right.
Like
well
no,
documented.
he was good and then slowly worked his way up to be one of the most elite defensemen.
It's well documented. Defenders take a longer time to
Yes.
mature. than
Oh, of
forwards,
course, of
so-
course.
Exactly.
Well, when you got to go against guys like Sid and all these
Yeah,
guys every
exactly.
night, I mean,
You have
obviously
to give
it
them, you
takes
also have to give them
time.
good veterans for them to learn off of. Like,
Yeah,
Letang
especially
didn't just
special
come in and
defense.
just like take over. He was learning on the Gonchar, who was like really good.
That's
at
true.
the time.
Gonchar was a pretty big
Yeah.
influence on him. That's
Oh
right.
yeah, well, you're talking about again one of the better defensemen of our generation, of our era. To watch, like Gonchar was consistent. Like the guy put up like 40 points a year, so he was good
Yeah.
offensive and defensively. Like he could skate, he could move the puck. And I mean, it kind of reminds you of a guy like Nick Lidstrom, another guy who just did everything so good.
He was next level.
He
right?
was.
Yeah,
He
you're
was.
right.
Forget God and Carlson.
Yeah.
Lidstrom was the best.
Lidstrom
Oh,
is
God.
like the mantle that you want to get to as a defenseman.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's different eras. I know some people like to put that mantle with Bobby Orr, and obviously he was another level of defenseman. But like Lidstrom for our
For
era,
our- yeah,
to watch
exactly.
that guy play,
It was
just so
ridiculous.
It
consistent,
was actually nuts,
defensively, offensively, like the way he read the game, was able to adjust his game to change. It was just, it's just too much.
Well, Carson's not far behind, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Carlson, I feel like
played
is
amazing.
still, yeah.
He did
he's
play
hit
pretty well.
another level of elite.
18
I feel like.
points in 19 games, I think I saw.
Like Ovechkin, I think he was real. Well, it's not. I think he was. He was injured during that whole series
Yeah,
too,
oh,
which
yeah.
you
But-
could see at the end of the last 3 games. It was kind of catching up to him.
I think that's the expectation though in the plaffs. Like you know everybody's hurt, has
injured,
something
yeah.
going on. Right?
Vatanen and Lindholm have like
Both
torn
surgeries.
labrums on their shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
6 months recovery, I
Yep.
think.
It's
That'll
that's
affect
their
their trade
1-2
value.
right there, man. So it's intense. I mean, you got to give it to these players who go out and play through all these crazy injuries with all their injections and all the shit they go through. So I
nuts.
mean, kudos to them. Kudos to Carlson. The Sens team was again,
They
next
played
level.
really well. As much as I hate
I
this,
am
they
yeah.
played
so
really
much
well.
respect.
As much as they played well, I'm just thank
I wouldn't
God
go
they're
that
out
far.
because I can't stand watching them
100%.
anymore.
Yeah.
Could not be happier that the Sens are out right now.
Shout out to Fanouf, former Leaf.
I
He
was-
had a good playoff.
I was gonna say the last 3 games he had awful games. I didn't want to bring it up, but since you brought it up,
I thought
Since
he
we're
played
going there.
since you went there, the Crosby play that I wondered why the hell is he open. Fanouf was standing in front of the crease, looks over his left shoulder, sees Sid by the post. It's like, that's fine. Goes look back at the puck. Where does the puck end up? On Crosby's stick in the back of the net.
Steve, you just hate him. Let's get real
But it's
here.
not blind hate. I watched the replays and he's just terrible. He takes penalties
He's a
at the
solid
he
second
takes penalties
pairing.
at the wrong time and puts their team shorthanded every second of
And
the period.
Schultz scored.
Schultz scored, exactly.
We know he's not a perfect defender. I'm just saying.
It's-
Glad he had success on another team.
No,
He's
I
just,
like
in
him.
he's just in an ideal
I don't
situation.
care. See, that's the thing. I don't
He
care
is.
about his success. I just like it. He sucks.
no, but
I
I mean,
cheer for a former Leafs. I was always a fan of Fanouf.
you look at the overdrive
yeah.
guys. They talked about it,
Yeah.
and it's exactly like Mike said. Like Dion got thrusted into something that he wasn't ready for. He's not
Yeah.
that guy. He's not the face of the franchise.
No.
Like when he was on Calgary, he was effective because he was behind.
No, but he
Ginla.
was that guy on Calgary when we
Well,
got him.
he
That's
was-
why we
he
got
was
him.
effective for a while, but
No,
then his
but-
production kind of went
No.
down.
We got Fanouf because that's what he was in Calgary, and that's what we wanted him to be
Well,
in
they
Toronto.
thought he would be that guy in
They-
Toronto.
yeah.
But
But
it
thing
fell
is,
off a
when
lot
he-
sooner than we thought.
But was he when he was still in Calgary? Ginla was still there. Like they still
On the
had
back
other
end, we're not
faces.
talking about.
No, I know, but I'm saying like that's what Fanouf's job was there. We brought him to be that guy.
But
in
he was
Toronto.
never a defensive.
Back
But
end
he was
Cal-
never a defensive liability on Calgary that he is now on
Well,
Toronto
no,
and
but no.
half the time on Ottawa.
But he also played with some better defensemen.
He was up
in
for
Calgary.
Norris trophies in Calgary.
Yes.
But again, he had better partners out there,
Yeah, he did.
right?
Yeah,
so
I
I
kinda
mean,
agree with
I'm
Jeff.
trying
He
to
was more
remember-
run and gun in Calgary.
Does
You're right.
yeah.
anyone
Probably
remember
didn't
that?
think too
Does
much.
anyone remember that decor in Calgary when Fanouf was there?
I don't.
yeah,
Maybe
they-
Bomeister was
wasn't
there.
Bolmeister was
I think.
there. Yeah, he was
Bolmeister
part
was
of it.
there?
Bolmeister,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
right early on in his career. They
Because I'm
threw him
thinking,
there.
like, I know obviously Brody was not there, Hampton wasn't there.
No,
but
no,
was
no,
no.
Giordano there, or was he like in?
No,
overseas
Giordano was
No.
after.
at the time?
Giordano was after.
What
I
year
think.
was he on Calgary? I'll look up Calgary's
Oh,
roster.
God.
you'd be going like
2011?
probably early 2000.
Mhm.
No, is it 2011?
Okay, he was
No
in
way,
the
too.
Corey Perry draft, right?
That's
Was he that
2003
year?
then, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe-
regardless,
maybe it was
but-
just after
Well,
the
he
lockout.
played right after he got drafted.
But you got to look at it from the way
So
of
2004 maybe. Try that.
he played with like Jay Bomeister. So Bomeister's a good stay-at-home defenseman. That allowed Dion to play his game without having any worries. When he came to Toronto, who the hell was there to balance him out?
No, nobody. But
Like
I
he
just-
tried
Paul
too
Gunnarsson.
much. Yeah, he had Gunnarsson, who again is like another second
like,
defenseman,
I,
not
wa-
top
I
pairing.
watched him play the series, and he was typical of Fanouf. He was not good.
He played
not
well
good, eh?
the entire playoffs. He had a couple off games. I'm sorry, nobody's perfect in
That's what
NHL.
I mean. He's
Sid
not.
had some bad games in the playoffs too. Obviously, you know those.
Okay,
even
he's
got-
also playing like concussed too.
No, I know, but everybody's had like Phil didn't have a couple good games there for Pittsburgh as well. Like every elite player has bad games.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and like no, Fanouf may not be elite, but he's a good defenseman.
Yeah, nobody's saying.
Yeah,
Fanouf
no-
is
nobody-
perfect.
nobody's saying
I can
Dion
agree with the fact
Carlson.
He
that
makes
no
a
one
lot
is
more
perfect.
mistakes that end up in the back of your net than other guys. That's what I'm saying.
But again, every defenseman has their day. There are some games that like Dion was unbelievable and also scoring and playing, physical hockey, which is what the brand he needs to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ottawa pulling off what they did for me on this run was incredible. I mean, I think Ottawa fans have some, hope to look forward to with this team
I
now.
think it might be a flash in the pan. I think they're getting a little too...
You think they just pulled a Calgary run like from?
I
the
kinda
beginning?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Everyone
I kinda think
Guy
so, too.
Boucher, like they were talking over there, is getting a huge ego now. He thinks he's the greatest coach in the history of the world, and everyone
but-
he's
yeah.
the biggest underdog now, and everyone's the greatest team.
But if you put a system into place and the team buys into it, I mean, that could be something you pick up momentum-wise going into the next season, right? Of like, hey, look, we
Yeah.
played with these good teams.
it also
and we
could be a bunch
went
of
there.
guys that overperformed at a certain time
That's
too.
also very possible.
Absolutely could be, but I mean,
That's what I think that is. I think this season is like Ottawa has overachieved, and they don't have the capabilities to
well,
keep
it's like
sustain it.
the Leafs overachieved as well.
They did, 100%.
But
yeah.
do
But
we think?
they
But
over-
not to
but-
this extent.
But they're in a development stage. These guys are already in their career.
yeah,
It's
like at the trade
Anderson's
deadline, they
36.
acquired players to
no,
win
that's
now.
going to be a big problem for Ottawa's goaltending.
Okay, so can I circle back? Because this is actually amazing. I'm looking at the 07-08 Calgary Flames roster.
Yeah.
So just decor right now. Adrian Aucoin. There's a lot more coming
So
up.
half,
Okay.
half
Fanouf,
decent.
Robin Regier, Corey Sarich.
Robin Regeer is
Robin
solid.
Brett
Regier was
Warner.
solid.
So that's a pretty good decor.
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
And just as a hilarious note, Owen Nolan?
Oh yeah,
I didn't
he
know
had,
he
it
played
was
for
like a
Calgary.
short stint.
Calgary?
It was a short stint though.
Very, very short stint.
I did not remember that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Owen Nolan, 35 years old.
Oh man,
God.
Not
Seems
good.
like fake news, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really
not.
true.
Curtis McElhaney on this team? Curtis Joseph, 40 years old.
Oh, that I do remember. That I do remember. Curtis Jones to be on that team.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that was a
he
good
didn't play
lookup.
very long there. That's when he signed like halfway through the season.
was a
He
good
just came
lookup.
back, I think, from playing in Switzerland or something. He was
Yeah.
playing, what's that? The Spengler Cup. I think he played, then he
Oh,
came
yeah,
back.
he did.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but to your point, like the Leafs did overachieve, but they're overachieving and they're building on that because they're young players. The guys like in Ottawa, like
Ottawa's more
they're
ready
at their,
to win now.
A lot of the guys
That's
are
the
at their peak or at their plateau. They're not going to really get
But
better.
the thing is, Erik Karlsson's not old.
No,
So, I mean,
not
their,
Karlsson. I'm
their
talking
time
about,
to win goes
like,
as long as Aaron Karlsson's
but I'm saying
there.
Karlsson's not the guy that's overachieved. I'm talking about like the
entire team
the
in general.
like the
Yeah,
Pageaus and all those type of guys.
But that's what it takes to get that far in the playoffs. You need some of these guys who will never do that ever
But
in their
I think
career.
I think it's
make
just
that
contained
run.
to this year. I don't see it being a big.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
we won't know until next
We
year,
won't.
right?
No.
I mean, you look at like Martin Jelena. Jelena's not a seasoned performer, but in the playoffs, that guy was captain clutch.
I know, he
he
was.
came out, he scored a goal. Like
It's
it didn't
true.
make any sense. So that could have been Pageau. And I mean, Pageau's not a goal scorer. His role is to play a good two-way, center.
right.
So I mean, do I see the Sens making it back to the Stanley Cup Finals next year? No, but do I
Probably
see them
not.
making the playoffs again? Yeah, I can see that.
Because now they're
It's
talking
very
about
possible, yeah.
they're talking about Bobby Ryan now being part of the expansion draft, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
After that playoffs.
Well, and I think that's one of the big things, and we discussed it off air before shooting, was this expansion draft changes everything. Like any discussion we could possibly have
Yeah.
right now about teams and
It's
where things
smooth,
go,
yeah, time.
it could literally go right off the
Vanette
rails.
could be on there too,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
no one's
yeah.
gonna want
Yeah,
the
Bobby Ryan
contract.
can still be on it.
Bobby
You
Ryan,
never
like
know.
Bobby Ryan, for enough, you want to get rid of that contract, right? Maybe you want to
Yeah,
bring in
that's
somebody
Contract,
else.
Yeah.
The contract makes
It's the
interesting,
contract
but-
is what you want to get rid of.
So I mean, I think the Sens obviously have some interesting, storylines going into the offseason, like most teams with this
Yeah.
expansion draft, and like we keep reiterating, I'm really excited to shoot this
Yep.
expansion
Oh, that's gonna
draft
be a
and
good one.
an entry
too.
draft
That'll be-
podcast.
that'll be
That's going to be
sick.
like I wouldn't even. We should go live while the expansion draft is on.
I was actually thinking
Watching
about
it
that.
together, we'll crack some
That would
beers,
be
order some
sick,
food,
actually.
get the boys
Yeah.
together.
That's a pretty good idea.
I mean, that'd
I'd
be
be
pretty
very
solid.
down for this.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like 18 hours long.
No,
No,
it'll
no.
probably be
It's
a
going to
little
be
while.
before the regular entry draft. It's probably like an hour, an hour and a half.
that's
Or
yeah,
something
it
like
shouldn't
that.
be too
like
long.
A regular draft style.
Yeah,
where it's
you
like-
guys comment below. Let us know if you want to hear that. If you want to have us have a live, maybe we'll stream it on YouTube. We'll go live. We'll podcast
that'd
it.
be
That could be a
We'll
real
go
thing.
live. Guys, you comment below if you want to hear that. The MMC boys all together here. We're going to sit down. We'll get some beers. We'll get some food. We'll watch the draft, and we'll just chit-chat sports.
Swiss Chalet, Steve?
Oh,
Oh, no, it's going to be soggy fries.
The fries are going to lose all their integrity.
You can have all the fries. That's fine. I'll have chicken.
This is going off the rails now.
Or we can live stream it from Swiss Chalet. Swiss Chalet, if you're listening, comment below.
I want to try this crispy chicken.
Oh my god, it looks good. This is a shameless plug for Swiss Chalet right now. But that looks really good.
Oh God, guys, this is ridiculous. Okay, so let's finish off this series. We know the Pens took it in 7.
Yeah.
None of us thought it was going there.
No.
So we'll go through the picks. I took the Pens in 6, so I called the Pens. I was off by a game. Mike, you took Pens in 6.
Likewise,
You
yeah.
called it as well. Nate, you took Pens in 5. Who called it as well? Tom took Sens in 6. He was trying to be a pain in the ass. He said it
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Keeps voting against Pittsburgh. So he picked Sens in 6. Incorrect. And Steve also took Pens in 6.
My
so,
plan worked perfectly. Piggyback on Jesse's pick.
so we were pretty much unanimous. It was going to be the Pens. We didn't call the games correctly, but the Pens are off to the finals.
Thank God.
Deservingly
Yeah,
so. They're a
deservingly.
powerhouse. They deserve it.
Yeah.
And now they're on the verge of breaking, not a record, but like they haven't, nobody's repeated as Stanley Cup champion in like 19 years. So
Since what? Detroit back.
It was
in-
Detroit back
way
in
back
the
when.
90s or
8
something
and
like
9,
that,
I think,
yeah.
right?
Way back when. But
Yeah.
before we move on to the next one, boys, I just want to let you guys know I have never been more comfortable in my life right now
Why is that?
than this beautiful chair I'm sitting in. Yeah, have you
How
guys?
did you do that?
Had you guys heard of the clutch chairs before?
No.
I don't know. Maybe through the grapevine. I'm not sure. Can you
Yes.
tell me more?
So Clutch Chairs is an amazing company, like big in the U.S. and Canada right now, and even internationally. I saw some of their Instagram posts. They reached out to the Millennial ManCave boys, being like, guys, we'd like to, send you some amazing chairs. We want you guys to test these bad boys out. We know that you guys are streaming for long hours and shooting and all that stuff, and we want you to be in comfort. And right now, Niedermeyer and I are sitting in these beauties.
That sounds pretty clutch to me.
And
You look pretty comfortable.
It's pretty
I'm
fantastic.
on the floor right now.
I'm not
so
gonna
this
lie,
is
Yeah.
right
guys,
my
my
back.
ass is very comfortable.
Like, I got lumbar support. I got some neck support. Like, this chair looks disgusting. Like, it's
It does
dirty
look
as
pretty
all
cool.
hell. I mean, this is
It's
clutch.
a lot better than the carpet next to Steve here.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, guys, the chairs we sat on before, they were not clutch.
They belong in the WWE.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah.
say that's head.
This is something you bring out to hit somebody over the head with, or you set up at a family barbecue.
Steve, go home.
You're done, Steve. You're done.
So, guys, if you check out the channel, you see a product review from the Millennial ManCave for clutch chairs. All I can say is they are absolutely clutch. If you want to save yourself 15%, you can use promo code M, capital C, lowercase AVE. That's MMCave, 3 capitals, 3 lowercase. Save 15% off your order, and guys, you will not be disappointed. Now, let's get back onto the Western Conference. So, the finals on that side, the Preds and Ducks.
Again,
Solid
the
series.
best series came out of a Nashville series.
You know what? Like, I thought it was pretty
Or
fun.
Anaheim, too,
That was
actually.
a fun series. We all were
and
looking
that
forward
was
to
on
that
fire,
one.
too.
Nobody
There
was looking
is,
forward
I don't know
to the
about you
second one.
guys, but there were some worries when Ryan Johansson and Kevin Fiala were out for the Preds.
We messaged you. I said, it's
Yeah.
done. That's it.
This
It's-
could have
it's
been
it's
a
game
bad,
over.
bad series
Yeah.
for Nashville.
Because they seem to be that, like, they're not a one-line team, but they rely so much on that front line to provide the scoring.
Well, that
Like,
back-
their other
back
three
end,
lines
too.
can play very well, and they keep them in games, but if their first line's not going, then they probably didn't have a chance. I was wrong about that, clearly.
Well, the
because
thing- well, the thing
everybody
for me-
stepped up.
I see Nashville like a glorified Ottawa. Do you not?
No.
They don't
Okay,
have like
they're
one
much
superstar,
better than Ottawa.
Yeah.
but they
Come
just
on.
have an all-around great team. So if you were to take away Bobby Ryan
But
from
their
Ottawa,
fir-
they'd still be doing
But their
maybe
first
the
line
same
is
thing.
a lot more offensive than Ottawa is.
That's why I say like a glorified Ottawa. An Ottawa on
okay.
drugs.
I don't know,
In that
for-
sense, they're all around good.
Well, nobody on Sens has like
But I feel like
39 goals too.
No.
They
that-
have just such
it's
a
like
better
Forsberg.
quality team than Ottawa.
They do.
That's
Like, you look at that defense, they're unbelievable.
Ottawa-
Well, what was it?
in
Somebody
Ottawa
on
on
Pittsburgh
drugs.
said like Nashville has
And
4
Ottawa on
Olsens.
steroids.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Like, PK Subban, you got Roman Yossi, you got Matthias Ekholm, you got
Ryan
Ryan Ellis.
You got 4
like,
Carlsons, like Kunitz
It's
said.
absolutely ridiculous.
I'm saying when I say Ottawa on drugs, I
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
they're
yeah,
a team not built around one superstar.
No.
like Crosby, Malkin, whatever.
Yeah.
It's by committee. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
They have
you're right.
amazing decor and a bunch of
And
really
Re-
good forwards.
Renee
that work.
stealing the show.
Yeah,
like
Renee was
Anderson
on fire.
does.
Well, it's also been a coming out party, right? Like, Victor Arvidsson had a great season.
Yeah,
He's
this
been
guy's on
unbelievable in the playoffs. And I mean, you look at like James Neal's been clutch, scoring some
Yeah.
big goals for them. Colin Wilson's been putting in some time.
Don Cherry's boy, Austin Watson.
Austin Watson. I mean, they've been fun to watch. And like, I thought if you look back at our first playoff podcast, I feel bad. I talk mass shit about Preds.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
Like-
me and Mike
How many
picked
chance?
Chicago in 4.
Yeah, like I did not think that they stood a chance against Chicago, and they swept them, and now they've been
yeah.
cleaning it up, man.
And like we were saying in earlier series, is that no one wants to watch the Nashville games because it's just going to be boring and this and that. And they provide one of the most entertaining
Yeah.
series
It's
that
been
we've ever
so much fun to
seen.
watch
Could
them
not
play.
be more wrong. And even what they're doing for their fans, bringing all these like top 8 country stars
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Oh, yeah.
like they're going the full 9 yards this season, and like I applaud
And-
Nashville for what they're doing.
Everyone gets on like, Canadian fan bases are the best, and we think we're always good in Canada. But Nashville seemed like they had a much better fan base than Ottawa did.
Yeah.
Like that
Oh, yeah.
atmosphere and that arena was so much
Yeah.
more like hockey central than it was
And
in Ottawa.
sold out every
Yeah,
game.
very
Exactly.
shame
What
in
fan
Ottawa.
base brings a catfish to a freaking hockey game?
Yeah, but that's they're fusing their culture and the hockey culture together.
Well,
No, it's
let's-
amazing. I love it.
Let's be realistic. When Carrie Underwood's going out to games, it's going to be a sellout.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
So
Good stuff.
kudos to
Yeah.
Mike Fisher, which I mean,
That's why they traded for him.
Does he still have 0 points, by the way?
he's been injured.
I think he does have 0 points.
You can't get points when you're injured, Mike.
He's been injured, but
No, I know he's been
But he has a
injured,
random injury. It literally says undisclosed. They
Yeah.
won't tell us why he's not playing.
maybe broken dick with Carrie Underwood. I don't know.
You know why nobody cares? Because he's got 0 points.
He's Captain Fisher right now. Before we move on, though, so let's break down this series. So, talking about Johansson, talking about Fiala, 2 big guys out of the lineup for Nashville. The way, like,
that's right,
Getzlaff...
Fiala, too.
Yeah, the way Getzlaff, Perry, Silverberg, the way these guys were coming in, man, you're like, shit, this could be the end
Kessler.
for
But
Nashville.
those, the
right?
4 horsemen back there for Nashville on defense, they
They
killed it.
absolutely carried it. And I mean, like, we had some good games with Renee and Gibson making unbelievable saves in that series.
Oh god, Gibson made like 43 at one point.
Unbelievable.
And Renee won a game with like 13 saves or something like
Yeah.
that. It was ridiculous.
I mean, Gibson
Gibson
showing...
had some off games too, though.
He did. I think it was an inconsistent playoffs for him,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, I mean, the guy's going to be stellar.
He will be.
He will be.
Like,
he will be.
he looks like he might be that American Carey Price because he's just that good. He's got to find his consistency
I
still.
don't
It's
know
going to
about
take some time.
that.
I
Wait,
don't know if I go
you
that
wait.
far.
You wait till that Anaheim defense starts rounding out in age and these young kids start coming up.
They might have to lose one.
They're
of
going
those
to
games.
shut it down. But nonetheless, that'll be another conversation
Yeah.
going forward because I actually have some Leafs rumors that have been circulating that we can discuss.
Oh, because Babs was watching the
Yeah,
games.
Babs has been all over, man.
God.
Like, I mean, the guy went to Europe. He went to go to these games here with the Western Conference
Yeah, he
Final.
watched, like,
It's like,
2 games
yeah,
here, I think.
Unbelievable, man. So, kudos to Mikey Babs for getting involved.
Yeah.
But also, like, I heard other stories that, like, yeah, he might be scouting guys, but he's a coach that loves to, like, quote unquote, steal things from other coaches. And
Learn-
so
well,
he
learn,
watches
right?
the game and watches how they
Yeah.
coach. And so, like, if I can use this in my game, then that might help my guys out, right? So
Well, you can do
he's
that.
there to learn the game as much as just to scout guys,
yeah.
too,
You can
right?
do that at home. You have to be live to do that.
No, but but you know as well as anybody else, watching a game live is much different than watching it
Yeah,
on film.
absolutely. Yeah.
100%. 100%. So, I mean, yeah, Babs going out there, like, you learn and adapt. And how do you make a young team better? You watch what some of these other teams are doing and why they got to where they are right now.
Yeah.
And that series was a good one to watch because I felt like you have 2 way different style games. You have Anaheim, who's there to bash and thrash and go crazy, and you got like this
Agitate,
Nashville team who just played as a team. They move the puck quickly. They
And
have
they could
speed.
smash your face into the glass.
They have some. Oh yeah, like the Austin Watsons who are
Yeah.
playing some dirty grit grinder games.
They keep proving me wrong. It's crazy.
But
And
I have
they
no faith in Nashville from day one.
I think I agree with Mike with the Ottawa comparison because they have that glorified one
Yeah,
player.
you know
like,
what? I've been thinking about that.
You
It
know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
like you look at that game 6. Who was it that scored the hat trick? It was
Austin.
Colton
Oh,
Sissons.
Sissons, yeah.
Like this was a guy who was supposed to be a major prospect for Nashville coming up the lines,
That's actually
and
the best.
he did
analogy.
nothing.
Pajot is Sissons.
Right? This guy,
There you go.
well, Austin Watson scored. Colton Sissons had a hat trick.
Yeah.
So I mean, like this team is finding one person who comes out with a nice support cast,
Exactly.
and it kind of overdid the Ottawa sense because Ottawa is just the one guy who carried it, and that was it. They looked to Carlson, but
Well,
this Nashville team is just consistently working together.
Well, the thing is, like, Nashville was, like, kind of due to break out eventually, right? Because,
Yeah.
like, over the years, they kind of slowly added, like, an extra player. Like, one
Forsberg
year was,
and all those
one
guys.
year was Forsberg, one year was
And everybody
Johansson.
doubted Rinne.
This year was Subban, and...
People doubted Rennie that he wasn't going to be the guy that was going to
Yeah.
like he was going to be the guy that held them back. Like the team is so great on the defense and they have
Yeah.
good forward cores. And everyone's like,
Questionable
"No,
goaltending,
Renee's
yeah.
old and washed up, and he's not
We've
going to do
argued
great."
that. I kind of agree.
And
with
he had
that.
one bad year last year, and now he's proven that was just what it was. It was just one bad year, and he's back to being a stud.
Yeah, he was Bobrovsky
I was
this
on the
season.
other side of that though
I
because
know.
he's what 34 when he had that bad year.
Yeah,
when he's
that's
at that
true.
age and you have a bad year, you gotta say, can he do it next year? Was
Well,
it really a one-off?
when
You
you've-
can't just automatically say that was a one-off. Don't worry.
Right, but when you've had
He's already old.
success for so long, that
Yeah.
those guys usually don't just
I know,
give
yeah,
up
yeah.
right away, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
It wasn't just a go-to. It's a one-off. Don't worry, guys. It's a one-off. Like
No, I think-
34-year-old goalies start to go downwards at that age. So
yeah, but sometimes.
all the respect
But he
to
gets
him,
into
good
like the
on him.
Lundqvist category. And
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
type of
when
stuff.
you get to playoffs, it's a whole different season, right?
Playoffs, I know.
And I mean,
Yeah,
you
of course.
forget everything, all the shit
Yeah.
games
Yeah,
you
age
had,
doesn't
and
matter in the
now it's
playoffs,
time to
yeah.
perform, right?
And
You've
the-
been
he
given
had
a
a great
second
season.
chance, and now you got to execute.
The thing I love about the series, like you were talking about, the style of play that both teams had,
Yeah.
is if that game was 1-1 for 2 periods or 1-0 for 2 periods, I was on the edge of my seat, happy to watch that game.
Yeah.
When it was Ottawa game 1-0 or 0-0, I was like,
Might as well
I'm
take a nap.
changing this game. I'm gonna take a nap. Like it's just like I had no investment in that game at all. Even though you got like arguably the best player in the world, Sidney Crosby, skating around, but it's not a fun game
didn't do it
to
for
Well,
him.
yeah,
watch
because
because
they
they're
put-
suffocating him.
Yeah, they put them into snooze mode, and I mean,
Yeah.
they said we play a boring brand of hockey,
Yep.
but we're going where we're going, and we don't give a shit what anybody thinks.
Right, which
If
that's
it
what you
works,
have to
it
think if
works.
you're
You
that
go with
team. But
I mean, look what Jersey did all those years. They would suffocate teams,
They
grit,
still
They all-
play like
grit
that.
grind goals, and win with on
They
the
all-
back of
they
Marty
also had
Brodeur.
Scott Stevens that would take your head off.
And
Oh,
And
God,
Scott,
yeah.
and Scott Niedermayer.
Niedermayer.
But that's the thing. Like when you have those players, you can play that system because
Yeah.
it's so comfortable,
Yeah, you're
right?
right.
Like skate over the blue line if you want to lose your teeth and your head ripped
Yeah,
off.
those guys play out of fear.
Well, ask Paul Correa. He'll tell you what it's like to get run over by the Stevens
Or
train.
Lindros.
Or Lindros,
If
or
they-
anybody else for that matter.
if they remember.
That's bad. Head injuries are serious.
Yeah, that might have been too far.
You don't want to talk about going night night.
That might have been too far.
Guys, that is very serious. We don't
Yeah.
joke around about head case
No.
situations. So, yeah, hopefully they fix concussion issues soon. Like we talked about in the
Yeah.
LAC podcast, they're finding a lot of head injuries are related to the neck.
The game was different back then too.
It was much
It
more
was,
different
it was
for
a lot
now.
of run and gun kind
Yeah.
of back then.
Well, I mean, so overall, a great series.
Nashville impressed everybody.
Nashville,
Nashville is
yeah,
still
I'm
impressive,
in
yeah.
awe. Like I almost want to underdog root for them, but I'm so in love with Pittsburgh and the city,
I
and
know.
it's tough to go that route.
Which is a good spot to be in because now I'm legitimate in that spot where I don't care
Yeah,
which
like
one wins.
you can fully
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
the finals
Yeah.
with two
Exactly.
solid
Oh, yeah.
teams playing two amazing brands of hockey.
Because
Yeah.
some of these guys didn't believe me, but if Ottawa made the final, I was not watching a second of that final.
I know 'cause
not
it
a
would
chance I was going to watch it.
it would be boring, and that's what you don't want to see.
I would watch as a hockey fan.
No,
but
I
you're
couldn't
right,
do it
wouldn't
because
really
I
do
just
it.
wouldn't like the hatred of Ottawa just wouldn't allow me to physically be in that room to watch them play.
So-
And the fact that they play a terrible, boring game.
So that being said, let's see how we did in that series now. So I took the Preds in 7, so I mixed up my games between my two series, but I called the Preds nonetheless. Mike took the Ducks in 6,
I did.
so you called the games but wrong team.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
guy that picked the Ducks. I was shocked.
I was, well, you remember at the end of the
You were
last
close,
episode,
yeah.
I
I
was
mean, like,
teeter-tottering, and
Yeah.
I couldn't go against the Preds after that first round.
Mm-hmm.
Nid took the Predators in 6, our only perfect call this round.
Hell yeah.
Tom took the Preds in 5.
It was aggressive.
Yeah, a little aggressive, but he was close. So another right Preds call, and Steve took the Preds in 7.
My plan worked perfectly.
So-
Take Tom's West pick. Take Jeff's East pick.
So there we go. So me, Steve, and Nid went 2 for 2, and Mike and Tom went 1 for 2.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, Mike called the East, Tom called the West.
Yeah.
Tom always
Yeah,
calls
It's
the
my
West.
team in the playoffs. I'm all over the place.
I told you Anaheim wouldn't win. At one point. I was right. Just 2-3 rounds too late.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been spoiled up to this point with some awesome series, some great hockey,
Oh,
some
yeah.
great goals,
The playoffs had lived up to.
crazy
Yeah.
storylines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we have our final set. Preds, Pens. We're in for a doozy here.
What a weird cup final.
I
Is
got-
it just me?
Yeah, like if you had to
Yeah.
ask me at the beginning of the season if I thought
Yeah.
Nashville, well, Pittsburgh maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
you can ask them, but like Nashville,
The one thing that everybody forgets is that Nashville's the 16th seed. Like
Yeah.
they are the
They're
8th
pulling,
seed.
I'm
The way
telling
that
you,
the
they're
play,
pulling a Kings run right
the way
now.
the playoff
Yeah.
bracket is, that we're just so desensitized to the fact that they are literally the last team like,
To
to
make
to
it.
make it into the playoffs. Well, I mean,
yeah.
the Leafs were timing wise, but I mean points wise, and Nashville was the 16th seed.
That's why it should be the biggest story. It doesn't seem to
It
be.
doesn't get any
Right?
play
It's like
because
no one's really
the
talking
parity
about
of the
it,
NHL is that team is just as good as any other
Everybody
team
else.
in the entire
Because
league.
everyone's talking about Pittsburgh and can they repeat it this year? And
And the fact
No
that they
one's talking about
destroyed Chicago
God.
gave them that legitimacy. Maybe if they
Dismantled.
squeaked,
God, 3 goals allowed in
maybe
4
if they
games?
squeaked
That's
by
nuts.
Chicago, they might be a little bit more of an underdog now. But the fact that they just came in and just destroyed Chicago, everyone's like, okay, Nashville's here and they're here to play.
they're real. They're a real deal
Yeah.
team now.
They are.
They honestly they announced their threat right out of the gate. Is that we beat Chicago, now we're the favorite.
So, as we were talking about Mike Fisher before, the latest news is that Fisher could be ready to go for early in this season, or early in this series, Game 1, Game 2,
It
and
could
I mean.
be like propaganda too. You never know.
Well, I
This-
mean, it
they-
could
they
be,
throw all
but
that kind of stuff
as much
out there.
as Mike Fisher's older now, I mean, he's a great shutdown centerman.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Oh,
he's
he is.
somebody
Oh,
that
yeah.
would not hurt you to be back in the lineup, especially with Fiala down, especially with Johansson down.
Well, he's been in the finals too before.
Oh yeah, and I mean, so that's some extra troops there to have your captain back.
Ottawa,
that
right?
would be,
Ottawa,
yeah, would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I mean,
For sure.
now does that really sway the finals by any means? No.
Well, didn't
I
Mike
don't-
call it
Well,
0 points
but
in how
it's
many
The
games?
fact that they took down Anaheim without Johansson, I don't
I
think.
know.
I think they could do it without him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
agree, yeah.
let's break this down like we have every series. We'll start from the goaltending. You got Rene, you got Murray, and even if Murray blows it, Fleury.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you got 2 unbelievable Pittsburgh goalies, and you have Rene who's been on drugs.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
it might just come down to a goalie battle.
I don't know.
Like,
man.
it
I-
could.
That's tough because like Rene is on some next level
so is
like
Murray
drugs right
though.
now.
Murray's doing
I
really
can't even
well.
pick a goalie because Rene's so sheltered by that amazing defense. So
But
I
if you,
lean
if you-
towards-
so let's
But then
dissect
again,
it.
like
This is-
Anaheim
this-
couldn't get past it. Chicago couldn't get past it. It's like
This is my take. I think Rene will have to be the better goalie, but I think it still might not matter in the end. So what I mean is like Rene will stand on his head and be the better goalie because he has to be over Murray because he's going to get the more of the shots against.
Of course.
But I think that Murray being 2 in that scenario is not going to like derail Pittsburgh. He's just going to have to be good, not great, and Rene is going to have to be great, and that might not be enough.
See, so for me, as
That's
Bruce-
just my take on it. Even if a godly Rene might not win it.
So that's what I want to look at. So let's, like Mike said, like I know Rene's sheltered by this defense, but we got to dissect it away.
You're
Let's
right,
pull the
you're right.
defense away. Let's look strictly at a Rene versus a Murray. Now, how ridiculous is it that we have to say that Murray is the more experienced Stanley Cup goaltender at
Yeah.
23
Yeah.
versus a
Yeah.
30-plus
He could
year old
become
Rene.
the first guy to win 2 cups as a rookie because he technically didn't play
a full rookie
full
season.
rookie season before that first cup.
So you think about it's crazy to think, but like I still might have to give it to the Pens with the Murray Fleury
Oh, that's a tough
duel
Combo,
there.
yeah.
Because as much as I
don't
love
even
what Rene's
know.
doing right now, like I think there's too much experience on the Pens side for goaltending to, I guess, give it to Nashville.
I can't decide. You two choose first.
Did
I
it
don't
make
know.
sense how I
Yeah,
broke it
like-
down a little bit?
like,
Well,
I-
this is, again, like this is a playoff. Like nothing makes sense. Like who thought Nashville would even be here?
It's true.
Like to me, I think Rene right now is playing better than Murray. Murray is the better goalie overall.
Well, Murray
but-
hasn't had much time
But
though.
yeah, that's it. But just physically, right now, the body of work is because Rene is so hot. The way he's playing currently is better than Murray.
The role, yeah.
But Murray is still playing at a high rate that it's not going to make a difference.
To me, it's so tight, and like I said, like I just edge out Pittsburgh.
Like I think it's even in that. That's why I think it's even in that standpoint.
Yeah, I kind of on Jeff's side here.
I give it just a slight edge, like not by much though, because I do agree with Steve. Like Rene obviously has the bigger scope of work currently in this playoff series and runs, but it's just Murray's just so good. Like
It's true.
it's ridiculous to
Yeah.
think this kid's 23
Very
years
stellar.
old.
I know.
He
And
is-
guys don't really make it until they're 24, 25 sometimes.
I know, and the problem is, like, Pittsburgh doesn't get worse. Like, you got to think, so Fleury's moving on. There's a lot of question marks of, okay, who's the next one for Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Well, then Murray comes out of nowhere, and they still have Tristan Jarry, who hasn't even made the show yet. Like, he's still an AHL goalie right now.
Which he might not make it in Pittsburgh. He's going to have to go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
he might like
Yeah,
he
obviously.
might have to be the Martin Jones and go somewhere else because he's going to get stuck behind
Yeah.
Murray now, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like Pittsburgh's depth is just
That's
ridiculous.
gross. But that's why they're back in the Cup final
And-
for a
and-
second
and
year in
that's
a row.
what it
Yeah,
is,
gets you
right?
far.
So I think I just slightly edge out Pittsburgh on that side. But then now let's flip it over to that defense again, dissecting the goaltending and the
I think
forwards. I
think
think
it's
you give it to
unanimous.
Nashville.
Yeah, it's
it's
100% Nashville.
And that's not to take away from the Pittsburgh D because they've looked not bad. But this Nashville D is just so like such a cohesive unit.
Oh, I still
right
say
now.
Pittsburgh's D is just average, maybe slightly above average in my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's-
They're
it's-
doing all they can to hold it together.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're held together by band-aids and glue.
Yes, exactly.
But they're not bad. Like again, like I wouldn't say like an Ian Cole's a bad defenseman. I don't think that.
No.
No. They're
That's
not.
why
They're
I
not
say-
bad.
We're not saying that.
Yeah, I don't
bad.
think Trevor Daley's bad. Like all these guys are good defensemen,
It's
but
just-
they just
Like
don't
they've
have
just
like
been
the
holding
stud.
it together. Like
That's
that's
what I
what.
mean.
the
Yeah,
guy's
like they
saying,
don't
yeah.
have stud
They
Nashville
are an
defensemen.
average
But
defense. I'm
to be
saying.
Na-
an
to
average
be Na-
defense that got this far.
Nashville has 4 number 2 defensemen on their team.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Ryan Ellis, he had a long like road before he came to this point.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
developed very nicely.
Yeah, he had a lot of question marks that he wasn't going to be an NHL defenseman
Right.
anymore. So like this is his coming out party.
He's
for
taken
me.
a long time, but the steady way, and now he's built into.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like it's a little bit like Roman Yossi. Like, that guy's a monster,
Stud.
Oh, stud,
absolute
yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
Like Subban, obviously, he is what he is. You know what you get with
Subban's
Subs.
a beast. Yeah.
And I mean,
Ekholm lived up to his expectations.
Ekholm
He was a
has-
highly touted prospect, and he's living up to it.
turn that corner, right? So this is an interesting one for me. I give it to Nashville, but I don't agree. I think that you got it. Like Pittsburgh's not bad. This team has won before. They played with this average. I wouldn't even say average. For me, they're an above average defense. To me, an average defense would be
Yeah.
like what the Leafs put out every night.
I think they're an average defense playing
God.
like a slightly above average because they're just doing everything they can desperately to
Who's
hold it
Nashville's third pair? Do we even know? Does it
Yeah.
even matter at this point?
It
Because
doesn't even. matter.
No,
I don't even know.
Yeah, Nashville's third pairing is.
look this up.
Oh God, yeah. Because I would look this up quickly. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and
Yeah,
right
I
now
can't even think right now.
I can't put it together. It's I think really random defensemen.
It's like two. Yeah, I don't know.
I know.
I'm gonna look this up because it's like it.
Because like they're still doing a good job.
I feel like there's a Weber on that team too.
Yannick Weber,
Well, maybe.
might it be Yannick?
There is another Weber on that.
There is a
on
We-
that
there is
team.
a
Yeah, I
Weber
know.
on that
I know they
team.
have Yannick Weber because he's bounced around between Montreal and Nashville.
I like that they have another Goudreau.
Oh, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, I forget his first name though.
Do we have the official
Yeah, I don't know.
who the third
Yeah,
pairing is?
Matt Irwin and Yannick Weber.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yannick
there
Weber.
you go.
shit.
And like
Matt Irwin. Oh God.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Matt Irwin is nothing to be over the top about.
No.
And I mean, neither is Yannick Weber. Like I said, that
But
guy's bouncing.
They're getting it
around.
done because those 4 guys play
Yeah.
probably 22 minutes a night.
No, yeah, your top 4 are taking most of the minutes. Like if your third pair play 11 minutes or less,
Yeah.
like you're like it's fine, it's good,
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
it's fine. We're having fun.
But yeah, I think it's a slam dunk that Nashville has
No,
way better
You
defense.
give
than
the edge
Pittsburgh.
there, but now you look at the forwards, and that one, as well as that forward unit
Pittsburgh
plays as well,
probably
you
has
have
the
to
edge
give it
on
to
that
Pittsburgh.
one.
There's too
Pittsburgh.
much star power on that
The
front end for
question
Pittsburgh.
I have is, will Pittsburgh power play wake up? Because Ottawa seemed to rail it in a
Yeah.
little bit, and now you're going back to Nashville, who prides themselves on having very good defense as well. So
Yeah.
will Pittsburgh's power play be able to get through Nashville's penalty kill?
Yeah, that defense.
Because that's going to be a huge
Well,
thing.
Defense and their forwards is really aggressive on the penalty kill, but they do. A
I mean,
fantastic
Pittsburgh
job.
didn't have a lot of chances because Ottawa didn't take that many penalties outside of Phaneuf.
Yeah.
But
Just the hate, so much hate for Dion.
Was that comment necessary?
it's just fact. And go back and check how many penalties he had. He had at least
Pretty
3 in
sure
the last
like
game.
almost all the players took penalties too.
But that's what I think of the game changer because Pittsburgh's power play is so it's so volatile. It could be really good, or
they get-
if it gets shut down, will that be the undoing of Pittsburgh?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I think there's so many question marks going into the series. You know, how are the styles that they play going to clash? You know, like
Will Nashville be too physical for Pittsburgh?
yeah, and can these Pittsburgh third, fourth liners bring the intensity that the Nashville team's going to bring out? Because they know they're not as skilled as Pittsburgh.
No.
So they're going to have to bring out a solid defense. They're going to have to grind the shit out of that Pittsburgh, top
It's
players.
like both teams don't really face those type of teams all the time.
No.
Well,
So
yeah.
Nashville's not used to playing a Pittsburgh 7 games, and Pittsburgh's not used to playing a Nashville 7 times.
You know what interests me too about this? Because again, as a Leafs fan, I kind of compare it to the Leafs. like Nashville plays that similar like high speed, high intensity type game where they want to counterattack, they want to play. Well, I
Like
can't say
Caps,
good.
kind of.
I want to say good D, but obviously the Leafs didn't have that piece.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the game that they play, and like think of how good the Leafs played Pittsburgh this entire season.
Yeah.
Like we played good games with them, so I wonder how this more complete Nashville team's game, who play that exact same type of style that Babcock likes to play, very strict, structured, high intensity, high speed, high grinding.
It's true. It's a well coached team because
Yeah.
Laviolette's no slouch.
Exactly.
He's what
He's
one
been
of
to
the
the finals
four.
too, yeah.
One of the I think 4 guys that have been to the finals with 3 different teams now.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
and that's the
Has he
thing.
won
So
before?
how does that go
Yeah, he
against
won with
this
Carolina
Pittsburgh
and
team?
he won with,
Carolina,
and then he
that's
went with Philadelphia.
Right, Carolina.
This
I
is
don't know,
it's a
man.
big question
I
for
just
me.
like Pittsburgh so much.
Oh, I do too.
Everybody likes
Crosby,
Pittsburgh,
Malkin,
yeah.
and Kessel are just next level right now.
Of course.
They are playing their
course.
best hockey.
The thing is, who does everybody think Conn Smythe? And don't do the stupid thing where you pick one from each team. You got to pick one guy who's going to win the Conn Smythe. So it might be if you think that the losing team is going to have a hero Conn Smythe, like a Jaguar or something like that, where it doesn't matter, or just if you think whoever's going to win, who's going to be
I definitely don't think that's
that Conn
happening.
Smythe.
I think those days are over where the losing team has the Conn Smythe winner.
It's happened,
No.
I think, twice in our.
Jaguar was the last time.
Jaguar
I think twice in our
Yeah.
lifetime it's
After
happened.
Jaguar, it wasn't anyone else though, right?
I can't
Quick
remember.
won it when he won the cup, but they
Yeah.
won it as a
No,
he
just
only
when-
won it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kopitar won it the second time when the Kings won.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it could be relatively fun to pick one from each team just in case.
It could.
Doesn't
I mean, you
have
never
to
know.
back
I think
up.
those days. I think the NHL's learned. Don't give it to the losing team. That's just not good.
Okay, so
We don't celebrate losing.
yeah.
So let's we've talked about this series now. We talked about the key players. We know who the big stars are to watch out for.
Yeah.
Like how these two teams are going to face each other. Like we're in again for an absolute ridiculous. Like does home ice help the Pens potentially get the edge over Nashville? Nashville's played amazing on the road.
Yeah, they have.
I'm not
I
sure.
feel like
So-
home ice doesn't make a difference.
These
in this
days it doesn't
playoffs.
feel
No.
like it, right? But Pittsburgh has played super good at home.
Yeah.
So, I
think
mean-
home ice plays an advantage, in my opinion.
So
For sure.
let's get into how we see this working. Who are your Stanley Cup champions? How many games is going to happen? And then we'll get into what Steve said. Let's pick some Conn Smythe winners.
Okay, sorry, I just looked it up because what Did said, there is nobody since Jaguar that's won it on the defeated team.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think there's no chance that a
Like
losing
those days are done.
like
Yeah.
unless they lose like 7 games, let's say Nashville or the Pittsburgh side, and the goalie makes 50 saves a game.
Every game, yeah,
it's not
exactly,
happening.
yeah.
And predominantly in history, it's been goalies. So, like,
Yeah.
it's somebody that's gone legend. Like, if Rene goes legend right now for 6 games and still loses, maybe he gets it. I doubt it, like you guys are
I would
saying.
hope.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but he would be the only guy to get it. Like, I don't see Murray winning it if they, like, if
it's
they
vice
lose.
versa.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. They have to be for the underdog who
Yeah.
really can even call Nashville
Exactly,
that
yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to get this started, guys? What is your pick for your Stanley Cup champion?
I mean, I'm going Pittsburgh.
I'm going
personally.
Ooh, okay, we got a little right off the bat already.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry. Talking at
Mike,
the same time here.
Mikey, give us what your thought is. You're saying Pittsburgh. Why and how many games?
I think Pittsburgh is just a well-oiled machine right now. Crosby and Malkin are just playing their best hockey. Maybe that's a hot take, the best hockey I've ever seen, but they're at their top level right now. And Kessel's unreal in the playoffs. When is he going to get his credit from all these Leaf haters? But that's a whole different argument.
He
I'm not
gets it
gonna
with
get
the bag
started
of
with
hot
that.
dogs he gets every
Yeah,
game.
I'm not getting started with that. Kessel is a playoff performer.
Oh,
He's proving
absolutely.
it.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking
These
anything
last
away
2
from
years, he's
Kessel.
really
He's
been
been
proving it.
he's been really good.
Gotta love Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you not love
Can't
Phil?
go wrong with Phil.
So I think if the Pens play a good first 2 games and they steal those first 2 games, so I think they should, then yeah, they can win this cup easily, I think. They can get to that defense, I think. So I'm taking Pens. I mean, I'm going to go my standard 6 games. Talking Conn Smythe too? Or
Well, we'll go into that. Let's get the picks down here first. So
Yeah.
we got Mike with the Pens and 6.
Yeah.
I want to hear
Nid,
Nid.
yeah, Nid, you jumped in right away with those
Yeah.
Preds. What's
You know
your thought,
what?
man?
You know what? The first round they beat Chicago. The next round they take on St. Louis, and the third round they take Anaheim. Pittsburgh, it won't be as tough as compared to those 3 teams.
it won't be
Ooh.
Don't be as tough as St. Louis.
Hold on, this might be a Sally's Cooch
This
hot
is
take.
a
Yeah.
hot take.
It's like going Chicago all over again.
I don't
Imagine
know.
St.
though.
Louis with 4 Tarasenko's. That's Pittsburgh.
Hold on, but you're also
No,
not.
that was Chicago.
No, but Chicago had Corey Crawford. He's not a real goalie.
Yeah,
they have
true.
Matt Murray in Florida.
Is that not the best analogy you've ever seen?
Fantastic.
Okay, so apparently,
The reigning Stanley Cup champs are just
yeah,
St. Louis.
they
If
are
they had 4 Tarasenkos.
they are just a walkthrough team.
Oh, man,
So
this
apparently
is-
the Preds are running through
I'd have to
this.
say Nashville in 6.
Nashville in 6.
All right.
All right, Steve, do you want to take this next one?
Oh man, this is gonna be a really tough one because I almost want to pick Nashville, but I'm not going to. I want to pick Nashville because their defense, their defense is what I think could be the determining factor if they do win it, because they've, like I said, they've got I like to call them the four horsemen. They've got just those guys that will they are the horses that you can rely on them.
Plus minutes a game.
They can generate offense. They can shut guys down. They made Getzlaf, who went Legends for 2 rounds, look like a pedestrian guy again, right? And I love it. I love Getzlaf. Everybody knows I'm a huge Getzlaf fan, but they shut him down, and it was ridiculous. So, but to Mike's point, you shut down Getzlaf, then that's pretty much it. If you shut down Malkin, you got Crosby and Phil to worry about, or the other vice versa. So, I don't know if they can do all 3 of those guys. So I think the big 3 on Pittsburgh, like Mike's saying, is going to put them over the top. I think Gino, like I was saying before, is at his Conn Smythe level, and I think he's going to be the difference maker in the series. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
Ian?
7.
Ooh, 7.
It's just going to be a drag out
slobber
series.
knocker.
Be a slobber knocker.
So I don't have Chef Tom's official pick, but I'm going to go, with what he's been doing and say that he's probably going to take the Preds.
I would think so.
He's gone against Pittsburgh the entire time. He said it in the last podcast, choosing Ottawa.
Pittsburgh hater,
So
Jesus.
we'll say the Preds for Tom. We don't have games, obviously, but we'll leave it at that. And then here's another one that I'm a bouncing back and forth kind of thing right now. I love what the Preds are doing, but being a Pittsburgh guy, I love Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with the Pens to take their back-to-back Stanley Cup championships.
Yeah.
But I agree with Steve. I think it's going to go 7 because I think the Preds are going to really bring it. These guys have been playing way too well right now to just falter at the finals and not come out with the game they've had this entire playoff run.
I think we all selfishly want it to be 7 because we want to watch 7 games.
We want to watch
7.
7 amazing games from these teams, and I think they're going to give it to us. Because I think there's going to be some games where, Rene is going to go God mode, and that defense is going to shut shit down, and, they might piss Pittsburgh off. They saw the Sens could do it, but I think they won't be able to do it for an entirety.
But Crosby can also go God mode. Remember that?
Well, he could.
Can I add one thing? Is why I kind of went with Pittsburgh, and when I was leaning towards Nashville, this kind of circled back. When Justin Schultz came back in that Game 7, that's going to solidify Pittsburgh. If they didn't have Schultz going into it, I think, like Mike was saying before, that depleted defense that was pulled together by Band-Aids and glue might not have been able to do it against Nashville. But because they got that key guy back in Schultz, it might even things out a little bit.
I also think they can handle Nashville's pressure, to be honest.
Yeah, they
that
could.
Band-Aid defense, even without Schultz, I think they can do it in a 7-game
series. Their defense that they have are not offensive. They're more shut down, grinded out type guys.
Yeah, and they don't. Nashville doesn't have that prolific scorer, so I think Pittsburgh can handle it. But they handled Washington. They can handle Nashville.
Everywhere though. So
yeah, Mike brings up a good point though. They did handle Washington.
Yeah, they handled.
Who was arguably one of the best offensive teams in the entire league.
Caps choke also.
By far.
They also choke every year, so no surprise.
I know, but we're talking about how they played during the season. They were the highest offensive team in the entire season.
Yeah, and they choke in the playoffs.
They had good numbers in the playoffs,
but
too.
they choked because they faced the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, they lost at a Game 7.
So that's what I'd say. Pittsburgh doesn't get enough in that whole debate about Washington chokes.
Yeah.
But they also always run into Pittsburgh, who is the better team.
Thank you, Steve. That's my argument all the time.
So
Washington
I would really consider it. I mean, it is a little bit choking, but I mean, when you run into Pittsburgh, it's not good, eh?
But when you're supposed to be the top dog, the expectation is you take out whoever gets in your way. So I agree with Nate a little bit. It is a bit of a choke.
Yeah,
I mean,
a bit.
It is
a bit. It is a bit. But I wouldn't say it's a glaring
That's such a bad excuse. It's oh no, we ran against the Pens, so obviously we lost. That's such a.
No, that's not an excuse. I'm saying that's why. That is the reason.
No,
on my side, I just
think about being. Come on, you're the top dog in the Eastern Conference, and you're telling me you run into the
for
Pittsburgh
the last
and,
2 out of the last 3.
But clearly they're not the top dog. Pittsburgh's the reigning champions.
Yeah.
Well, during the season, you made the point. They were the onslaught of during the regular season.
I said they were offensively the best team.
Yeah, and they
but
couldn't get it
that's not
past
the best
Pittsburgh.
team. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You were talking about Nashville being they can provide a lot of offense. But I'm saying they already beat the best offensive team.
Exactly.
They're just not a playoff team. Hands down. That's what
exactly.
it is. They win the regular season games that don't matter when it comes to the playoffs. Sure, you can get a good position, but look what Nashville's doing as the 16th seed. Right? So, I mean, Washington's a whole other conversation. We could have a whole thing on them, and we had our little spiel with it. But, yeah, I'm going to go, like I said, Pens in 7. I think, again, another amazing series for us to watch.
It's going to be fun.
Starting tomorrow night. Can't go wrong. So, guys and gals, make sure you're checking it out. You're going to want to watch this series. If you haven't been following hockey, this is the time to tune in. You got 2 absolute powerhouse teams with 2 great brands of hockey. Yep. The style that they play, going head-to-head in the final, it could not have worked out better for us because, like Steve said, if Ottawa was in the final, it would have been jacked up.
Not watched.
Not good.
Not Washington.
So Conn Smythe winners now?
Yes.
I'm more
Sure.
excited about Nids because he picked Nashville.
Yes.
So
So,
I think
are we picking one
So
or
I
one
think
from
I
each?
think we should go one from each. Let's say one from each side.
one from each team.
One from each team.
One from each team.
Let-
Okay, so
Okay.
I would go Malkin for Pittsburgh if they win, and if Nashville wins, Rene.
Okay.
Okay, straight, easy.
Yeah. Steve, what do you feel?
I was gonna speak up and say I think Pittsburgh unanimously it's gonna be Malkin. I think it's Malkin.
I think so.
So-
I love Sid. I'm gonna throw like I've been a huge obviously throughout this whole podcast I've been saying Gino's the guy. I do think Gino,
Yeah.
right? But I think the door is always open for Sid
So
because
I-
everybody thought
Just
Sid
'cause
wasn't.
it's Sid,
Everybody thought Kessel had the lock last year,
Yeah.
and Sid won it.
That's true.
right? And Sid could
That
dial it
was
up.
close. That was close though.
Well,
was.
Murray also I thought should have won. If not Kessel, it could have been Murray.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I think it's
The
not.
rookie winning the
so
cup.
so if
I think it's not
Crosby
out of-
gets, if Crosby gets 8 points this series,
It's possible.
Okay, now
and
you're
Malkin
talking-
gets
okay.
like 4.
Hold on.
That's
now
what-
you're-
that-
does Crosby take
that's
it
what
over?
But now
I'm
you're
saying.
talking what ifs again.
That's what
So
I'm
it's-
saying. If Crosby outplays Malkin in the series, which he is capable of doing,
Yeah.
he will win it. But I think Malkin is the favorite, but I don't think it's like 100% like it's only Malkin.
But
No,
saying,
no,
in
no,
making
I don't
this
think that.
decision, you have to think about what they might do this series.
Yeah, that's
Which is
why-
why, like, then I must be off the board because I'm thinking Kessel could actually finally win it this year.
He could.
I think he could.
Yeah, he
Because
could.
Phil's been on drugs.
He'd
and if-
need a 4-goal final.
yeah,
That's
like
what
if,
I mean,
well, it's
yeah.
like if Phil,
Honestly, any one of those three could.
if
easily
Phil
take
scores
it.
5 goals or 6 goals in this series and puts in a couple assists, can you not
Yeah.
see him taking the Conn Smythe?
I could.
Yeah.
Actually,
Depends on
I
how
would
many
still-
points
I
Malkin
still
and
say-
Crosby
I would
get,
still
though.
say
Look,
Malkin.
look at how much passion he's brought to this team and the
Oh, you don't
fire
have to
that he's brought on
convince
the
me
ice.
about
No,
Kessel.
like-
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I think that it could be like them giving back to him after last year. I think he got snubbed, like you said, and I think this year I would choose Kessel for Pittsburgh. 100%.
I could see it happen. I just think because
It's not
Malkin
a crazy.
is-
It's not a crazy.
Malkin's
pick.
in on all those goals. That's why I say for every Kessel goal, Malkin's going to get an assist anyway.
Yeah, because to Mike's point, like
Yeah.
like let's say if Phil does get those 5-6 goals, are they all going to be assisted by Malkin too? 'Cause
Yeah.
they
But then not
play-
necessarily because Phil's doing a lot on his own.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I,
yeah.
So I
but-
mean,
I will beat the drum for Phil every day. I love Phil Kessel, so you don't have to convince me of that.
I think for me to yeah. So you guys are saying all Malkin? You're saying all
I
Gino?
think I'm saying Malkin.
Yeah,
I'm
so let's
saying
circle
Malkin,
back.
yeah.
I think Malkin. Steve picks Malkin.
Yeah.
I have to go off the board. I'm going Kessel.
All right, that's good.
And then from a Nashville
And Nashville?
perspective, so we got Rene up from
Thought
there.
about
No,
that. Yeah, I think
Colton
Rene.
Sissons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mike
I'm-
Fisher.
Carry Underwood.
Carry Underwood.
Oh, Carrie Underwood.
100%.
God,
She
Carrie
is
Underwood
the
can
real
do it.
Conn Smythe winner.
She's an MVP.
Absolutely.
I really like her.
No, more like Mike Fisher's the concept.
I could try to do the classic like sports media and try and pick some underdog that's going to win it. It's going to be Rene if Nashville wins.
Yeah, I
Has
think
to
it-
be. There's like there's no other guy that's going to win it.
Seems
If
so-
Johansson was healthy, then I could see him maybe taking it. But if Nashville wins, it's because Rene stood on his head again.
See, now I'm thinking, again, what could potentially happen in this series? And the two guys that pop up the head for me besides Rene would be Victor Arvidsson and Roman Josi.
Yeah.
Those are
Roman
two.
Josi could.
Those are
Or
two names.
Forsberg could always take off.
Yeah,
this
those
series.
are a couple names in my head right now
Not
that
for Conn
could
Smythe.
be.
Like, he's going to be a good contributing player, but
Yeah.
not for Conn
Yeah,
Smythe.
I don't see Forsberg winning Conn Smythe.
I think Arvidsson,
I
like
think
Arvidsson and
Arvidsson or
Yossi would
Yossi.
be two.
Yossi
could be
PK
part of that.
Subban.
PK
I don't think
Subban.
PK will take it.
No.
Can you imagine the media if
Oh
PK
my
Subban
God.
wins the Conn Smythe?
Montreal
I'd like
would
to
be on
see
fire.
John Scott's reaction to PK Subban winning the
Scott is
Conn
an
Smythe.
idiot.
Like, I'm sorry, Montreal would be on fire. The
I'm
entire
pretty
the
sure
whole entire
Bergevin
world would be on fire.
it would be over.
No, I'm pretty sure Bergevin would get fired.
No, that's it. That's another stupid hot take. Like just because he traded, Nashville is not winning the cup just because Subban
No,
was
no,
there,
obviously
and
not,
Montreal
obviously
didn't
not.
get eliminated just because they got rid of Subban.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just
Well, that's what I mean. Like it's just such a it's a little bit of a stretch on how much. Oh yeah, Montreal's in it. Like
It's a sad
everyone
ball.
You know what
should
it is, though, Steve? It's a journalist, like, it's Christmas morning for them.
Oh, I know.
It's the
Oh, yeah.
perfect
Exactly.
storyline.
Exactly.
They're going to town with it. So,
It's true.
yeah.
There's a little bit too much focus on like the fact that he made it the year after they traded him to Nashville, which clearly is a really good team.
Yeah.
So, who's your Nashville Conn Smythe picks?
I'm with Steve. Safe bet, Pecorino.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
And again, I feel like I have to go off the board. And I think if I had to pick between the two, I think Arvidsson could be a game changer for Nashville in the series. So I'm going to say Victor Arvidsson.
That makes sense. Offensively, he's gonna have to lead the rush if they're gonna do it.
He's that little speedy winger playing like a Phil Kessel type game where he can snipe, he can pass, he's grinding.
He's so good.
he's a good
Like,
all-around player.
it's crazy. Like, this guy came out of nowhere.
That would be the weirdest.
Yeah, he got
Conn
30
Smythe
goals
winner,
this
would it
season.
not be?
Victor
Yeah,
Arvidsson?
it probably would be.
Well, it'd be a weird
Well,
name.
also, like that's what I mean. Like the oddest name.
But what has he done for this team
It
in
would
this
go along
entire
with the
run?
playoff storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Nashville
Exactly.
making the
Yeah.
Yeah.
finals.
That's why I wouldn't take it away from them.
Yeah.
But
That's so weird.
with that being said, that closes off all of our predictions now officially
Yep.
for our Stanley Cup playoffs, guys. So this has been
Nice.
our podcast. We'll do another follow-up for the playoffs, how the final went. Maybe look into if there's some news discussing what the offseason's going to look like.
Who knows?
I'm excited.
Yeah, one little interesting thing I was hearing was with the whole Duck situation with other defense that Steve brought up, and I wanted to kind of wait till we got through everything, was apparently the Leafs and Ducks are in talks again. And the conversation was that the minimum player the Leafs want to get from the Ducks is Cam Fowler.
As long as we don't trade Nylander.
That's the name that apparently
Yeah.
gets
Nope,
flashed back.
you
though.
hang up the phone and you go back to Toronto.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You hang
Do
up that
not
phone.
trade Nylander.
If
I
anybody
think-
speaks William Nylander into that phone, then it's just a flush.
I think it's
100%.
ridiculous
He
to have
destroyed
Nylander
the
on there.
World Championships. Let's remember
Cam
that.
Fowler-
Fowler,
MVP.
Cam Fowler is not worth Nylander. It's not even close.
Like, this is what the conversation has been now from, like, all the major sports broadcaster stuff was. Before, they're like, you can go take Nylander, you can go put him on the market, you ask for, like, a good young defenseman. That's what you ask for. Now they're like, after what Nylander's done at the World Championships, after what he did for the Leafs during the season, the playoffs, they're like, now you ask for a top 2 defenseman.
He's also 20 years
Done.
old or 21
I
at
know,
most.
I think he's like
Like,
20. but
it's retarded.
I
Yeah,
think it's such a crazy situation just because the Leafs have all these people who need to come up and get in the roster that I'm afraid they might consider to move a Nylander.
But it doesn't
which
make any
scares
sense
me.
because, like
No,
I was
I
telling
don't
Mike,
think they
like
would do that.
for years, for 12 years as a Leaf fan, we're like the Leafs can't draft. They never built through the draft. They never do anything
And
right.
then-
Now they have amazing studs that they've drafted. You can
Exactly.
throw it away in 2 years.
For Cam
like
For
when-
Cam Fowler?
That's the thing. Yeah. When
Okay,
Nylander,
give me Draisaitl and McDavid. Then I'll move Nylander. Okay.
That's the thing. When Nylander got drafted, like everybody was not everybody, but like obviously Don Cherry was like, no, you should have taken Nick Ritchie. It's like
Yeah,
he's such an
okay.
all-star. But
So-
no, Nylander was obviously the better pick.
I
It's
want to have
ludicrous.
this. I want to have a discussion with you guys because they talked about this on Overdrive, and I'm not sure if you guys heard this segment. They were talking about who are the best threesomes right now
Oh, that was a ridiculous
in
conversation.
the NHL.
I heard
Did
about
we talk about this on the podcast? I can't remember if we
that.
did
No,
it here.
this was after.
I don't.
Okay, so the
No, I don't
conversation
remember
was: would you trade Matthews, Nylander, and Marner for any other threesome in the league? Any other threesome?
Yeah, the argument was there's not
Like
too
McDavid,
there's not too many
Draisaitl.
teams that have a 3-pack like those 3 that you would do a trade
So
for.
the big names that came up
Crosby.
were so the Edmonton version
Kessel,
was
I guess?
McDavid, Draisaitl, and Clefbaum.
Yeah.
To which
Yeah.
Jeff O'Neill agreed to after saying that he would never trade Austin Matthews for
We
any
only
player.
trade
Well,
Austin
when-
Matthews for Connor McDavid.
Listen, that's because
that's
when,
it,
when
right?
Connor McDavid is in that package, you can't really say
No.
anything else.
There's that old adage: the
Plus you get the
team
defenseman,
who ended
too.
up with the better player wins
Wins the
that
trade.
trade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
McDavid is the better player. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
But-
love Austin Matthews.
So here's the thing. So here's another discussion that's been happening. Is McDavid the better player just because he's better offensively? Because like the discussions that are being happened now between all the scouts and stuff is that Austin Matthews might be their well-rounded player versus McDavid. McDavid's all offense.
They're both teenagers that can be so much better than they already are.
No, but like from where they are right now at this point, Matthews is a much better two-way center
Absolutely.
than
Yeah,
McDavid
yeah,
is.
obviously.
McDavid may be that flash guy of like I'm going to put up 100 points a season consistently.
But you need. If
But
you're gonna have
Matthews
that
might
guy that
not
puts
be
up
that,
100
right?
You can
points.
always sign all-around players in like the offseason.
But the thing is, like, do you need a 100-point player to make the playoffs?
Well, it worked.
That would be nice.
Well, I don't know. Look at Nashville.
Last I checked, 100-point players are good to have.
Yeah,
aren't they?
you don't
No,
really
it
want those.
it
know.
is. But if you can have
need goals
three
to win.
80-point players, is that not good enough?
Okay, well, in the scenario that Matthews versus McDavid, I mean,
Well,
McDavid is
Like with that is like
That's
is
how-
one player only
But
getting
also-
80 points and the other two are not doing anything.
But you're also
No,
getting,
no,
but
no.
in that you're also getting like Draisaitl, who is an 80-point player.
No, but
Exactly.
now we're going strictly conversation of like the McDavid versus Matthews, like the way the scouts are talking
I
right
think
now.
they're interchangeable. I would be happy with either one of them.
Well,
If
I
that-
don't-
maybe that's what you're getting.
Yeah,
at.
there's
Yeah.
no loss there. But I mean, I just thought it's interesting that the scouts have actually come out now and said, like, yeah, look, Matthews is an offensive, or McDavid, offensive juggernaut. This kid's in another league. He's probably one of the fastest skaters in the league. His movement on the ice, his momentum, his skill. But they're like, Austin Matthews has understood that to be a good center, you got to play both ends of the ice.
Right, right.
Which
and-
I think McDavid's not a defensive liability. Am I wrong? there?
He's not a liability,
No.
but he's not as far along as they're saying Matthews is already.
Yeah.
So I think it makes an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Because
But he's still young. He could always learn to.
But Matthews could also get better on the other end of the ice as well.
Well, according to Jerry Law's line, he's going to learn all that in 2
Oh,
seconds
well.
anyway. Overnight, Line will become the most perfect player of all time.
Well, Line is God, so it doesn't matter what anybody
Yeah.
else says.
Clearly.
But I mean, I just thought it was like an interesting conversation
is
that they would
interesting.
actually come out and say that after Matthews now has
It's
only been in the
pretty
league
interesting.
1 year, McDavid's
Yeah.
been 2.
Yeah. And the guy wins to Art Ross in his second year.
which is ridiculous.
Crazy.
But the whole threesome pack thing too, like they even threw out the names. Are like, would you take
I think there's no other team that has
Sid,
it.
Malkin, and Kessel,
I'm
Sid,
thinking
Malkin, and
Malkin,
Crosby,
yeah,
Sid Malkin and
or
Kessel
Sid
could
Malkin
be-
and Letang? I mean,
Murray.
Murray.
Why is it?
Counter-
Why is it always a defense when you're giving up 3 forwards?
well, they're just saying like hypothetically, if you could take a
Okay,
good
then,
3
then
pack,
put
right?
Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel.
Any threesome in the world, like put Murray in there too.
But 3 forwards now.
But that's the thing though. So they're saying like, so you would take like they're saying if you had to make the trade right now as the Leafs,
Yeah.
would you trade away those 3 young guys for like 3 guys in their or like mid to early 30s?
I wouldn't because you don't have
No.
you don't have the defense core to build around it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, so it's an interesting conversation because it's like as Leaf fans, like this is one of the best threesome in the league right
actually,
now.
I take that back. Malkin and Crosby, you probably would do it.
Exactly.
No, they're amazing, but do you only want to win for maybe the next 4 years versus having guys who
I'll
can play
take
for
one
15?
because I haven't had any in 67
Exactly.
years.
I know, but like, but do you want to be that? Do you want to be the flame that burns for 3 years and burns out quick, and now you're starting from scratch again, or do you want to see this through and be that flame like the Blackhawks who make the playoffs for 10 years?
We're all impatient Leaf fans.
Yeah,
I'm with Steve.
I
I would
know.
do Crosby, Malkin, and Murray right now.
If I could get one cup right now, I would do it.
See,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
take Murray because you have Anderson right now. Why would you need Murray?
Murray's better than
Yeah,
Anderson.
Murray's way better.
Yeah,
What if it's
maybe.
Kessel then? Or what if it's Letang?
Letang, he
Letang's
gets
injured prone. I
injured too
wouldn't do
much.
it.
It's
I
kind of
wouldn't do it.
tough.
Yeah.
Phil,
Yeah,
obviously,
he always comes back and have a career year though.
Yeah, but he's way too. I think he's way too injury prone
Injury
right
prone?
now.
it's hard to.
It's almost like the Stamkos thing. Like, thank God we didn't
That's
get
true.
Stamkos.
Oh
Stamkos
my
breaks
God,
his leg
yeah.
every year.
I know.
Unfortunately, like, I hate to see that guy go down because he's such
Well,
a great
that
player.
skill level, yeah.
But
Yeah.
now looking back at it, I would not take Stamkos even at like
Yeah.
a cheaper deal, like a $6 million, because he's just gonna get injured all the time.
Well, it seems like that team is straying to Kucherov now. He's the guy,
He wants to be
yeah,
that
I mean,
guy. Oh yeah.
and he's showing it. I mean,
Yeah.
40 goals last
the
year.
guy's
Well,
actually
Next
unbelievable.
season, Tampa will be interesting to watch.
Well, and Jonathan Duran too is now showing
Yeah.
that he's an absolute superstar. Like if you like, I'm sorry, Duran. Like you quit your whining and your bitching and you do what you've been doing,
Yeah,
and
he's unreal.
you're gonna get paid, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the skill.
Yzerman-
That's why you got
I-
drafted second overall.
Yzerman set him straight.
Hell, he has to. You don't get that level and have that skill, and then just start being a baby.
That's true.
Like you
That-
get your ass on the ice.
Sorry, I'm just thinking in my head. It's actually interesting the Tampa. So imagine Stamkos doesn't get injured a lot.
Right.
There's that threesome: Kucherov, Stamkos, and Hedman.
Oh my dear
I
God.
think I would do that. I'm not
I
gonna
would
lie.
take that. I think
But
I
it's a
would
big
take that.
if with Stamkos' injuries, though.
I know.
No,
I'm-
he's saying
but
forget the injuries.
Yeah,
But Hedman though.
We're in
come on.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
world
we're doing
right now,
hypothetical
so-
stupid
If you could have
things,
Hedman
so-
and Kucherov, oh my god.
So that's what I'm saying. I think I do that. I'm not gonna lie.
See, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so tough for me because you got like Hedman, who's what pushing 30 now.
Hedman.
Hedman's not
Hedman's
30.
a 30. Are you
Wasn't he
crazy?
like? Isn't he like
Young.
late 20s?
He's
No.
Tavares here.
Is he?
Young
He went
25
second. He went second
probably.
overall. He
Why do, I
went
feel,
se-
why,
25,
why do I feel like he's so
25?
old?
No.
No
Tavares
way.
went.
I'm
Tavares
honest.
went one, and Hedman went two.
man, Hedman
Yeah,
is
he's like
young.
25.
I'm on this. I'm on this.
It's
Kucherov
you. I,
and
26.
Hedman?
He's 26. Yeah, he's in
26.
1990. Sorry, he's 26. So turning
But-
27 this year.
I might do that.
no,
man.
trust me. There's not a lot. I'm with you. Like you don't move those 3 for basically anything.
Yeah.
It's tough because again, like as much as I agree with you guys, like being Leaf fans and how long it's been that we've sucked and not made playoffs consistently,
No.
it'd be nice to get an immediate upgrade and be superstars
Yeah.
and
But to your
work
point,
it.
It's kind of nice to do it with your guys that you.
But my
picked.
God, yeah, like you draft these kids now, you're working them in.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, like they're gonna be good for a very, very long time.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And like, look at the relationship those 3 have. Like, they're best buddies already. They,
Yeah.
You see the way they talk on social media to each other, like the
Exactly.
chirping, like.
They're already like best friends.
That's what I mean. Like, but those are the guys you
And
grow around. Like the way
Nylander
Taves
is
and
so
Kane
he
did.
took such a big step playing from the
Oh,
AHL
God.
now. It's gross.
Well, look what he did with Backstrom in that World Championships.
such-
It was
Oh
just
my god!
another
Can we just
level.
get Backstrom and then have him have him play with Nylander? It was just
Another
ridiculous.
But we
level,
have our own
man.
backshot. We have Austin Matthews.
Exactly.
Like it was unreal, man. And I think it's
And
again.
we could put Marner with one
Oh,
of these.
man.
That'd be nice.
So those guys haven't even touched the ice together yet.
Everyone said that Mitch Marner was one of the best forwards in the entire tournament.
Oh yeah, they said him and Nylander
Yeah.
were 2 of the better forwards the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Offensively, playing both ends of the ice.
Oh, I was watching some of those Marner highlights. It was actually disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In that final, him and Nylander were the standouts.
It's true.
They said the Leafs, have so much to be
Yeah.
excited about because those 2
Really
kids are
excited.
unreal.
And you got Kapanen coming up too.
Oh yeah, Kapanen's looked awesome, and he had a great playoff run with the
He did.
Marlies. It was kind of sad that it ended as early as it
Right.
did, but
Against Tampa's AHL team. no
Syracuse
less.
crunch.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, guys, again, we've talked about how much we have to look forward to coming up. This series, Preds and Pens,
Yeah.
it's going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. If we
Yeah.
have to go to the gym, it's going to be on the treadmill. What the hell we're doing?
Yeah.
That's
well,
how good of a series
we'll
it
figure
is.
something out.
Yeah, you want to make
It'll
sure you're
happen.
watching it. And I guess it's going to be the end for this one, guys. So make sure you're tuning in for our next one. We're going to follow up on how the playoffs went. Hopefully, like I said, we have some more news on the expansion draft. Hopefully, we have some more news on the entry draft. Maybe there might be some trades. or at least some more
Never know.
rumors going around. And again, guys, comment below if you want to hear us do our live podcast on YouTube or wherever, talking about that expansion draft. We may look into it for you guys, but you know what to do.
Expansion draft simulator. That can be it.
Oh, yeah.
That can be a
another
thing. We can do
That
a pre
next
expansion
podcast,
draft thing. Yeah.
our next the Stanley Cup follow-up, we're going to have the expansion draft simulator.
If MMC were Vegas, what would they do?
What would we do? That's a good question. So stay tuned for that on the next episode, guys. You know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. Make sure you're following along with us. You want those notifications when our new videos come out. You know, like, share it, leave those comments because we're loving you guys dropping the comments. We'd like, being able to talk with you guys and see what you guys are feeling.
Go get a clutch chair.
Go get a clutch chair, guys, because my ass is still comfortable and so is Nid's. He looks great right now.
My back is
I wanna
killing
do
me
it.
right now.
Yeah,
I'm a mess right now.
I
on the
really
floor.
wish I had a
If
chair.
you guys had a clutch chair, you'd feel better. So, guys, you know how we do it here. Keep it twirling, and I guess now, keep it clutch.